Meeting's open.
All right, open the meeting at 6 o'clock. Are we being recorded?
Yes.
All right, we're a joint meeting with the Water Commission tonight, and then do we have to do you know the Finance Appointing Committee? That's just part of our meeting. It's not a separate meeting, right, Dave? Or is it a separate?
Right here at number 4.
I just can't remember if we have to
Oh, close it and reopen.
close it and open it.
Should be.
There's something in our bylaws that say that it's closed and then open.
Okay.
I think we found. There's nothing in our bylaws that say that it's a separate meeting, that we have to close this meeting and open that meeting.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say, is Jackie on? There she is. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
All right, so, looking at number 1, examination of meeting minutes, we're gonna table this until the next meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right, and then, next up, our action items are, appointing Michaela Smith to the Board of Assessors. So I would make a motion. Is there a term length, Dave?
Whatever the remainder is on Paul's term.
So remainder of Paul's term?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
No.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
And then appointment of Corinne Chartrand to the Conservation Commission for the term July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right. So first up, we've got our joint meeting with the Water Commissioners. We have Wright and Pierce here. If you guys want to come on down, there's a couple chairs around. Just make yourselves comfortable up here. 1, 2, 3. Need another chair?
I can go to that.
Here.
I can pick all the stuff up.
Are you sure?
Don't mind it.
There's one more right next to us. Oh, and then here, let me grab another one. And that is okay right next to me.
Just
That feels its way. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna shift it over here.
Sorry.
Okay. No one wants the hot seat.
Where is the hot seat? So I know for future reference.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right
good.
there. All right, Jackie, so everyone is here around the table with us. I'm gonna let you lead because I know you've been working with the water department and Wright and Pierce. So I'll let you go ahead.
Is this Bob that's on from Bay State? Is that who's the Bob that's on?
Well, those of you who are joining us, will you introduce yourself so Jackie knows? Oh,
Meetings in the.
in there?
In there.
No, I'm just not online here. I don't know if that's,
Is Bob muted by any chance?
He is.
Okay, can you unmute him in case that is, are you expecting Bob from Bay State?
Am I expecting him? Nope, but he's here, so.
Oh, that is him. Okay.
oh, he's there. Okay, good.
Did Bob Watson?
It just says Bob,
Yeah.
Okay.
so we don't.
Why don't we have
Okay.
him?
No, I was just,
Yourself.
yeah, I was just curious. A little dark here at Mom's house. All right, so, yep, I mean, this would be me and Brad, really. I think Brad, we met, right, on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Couple things, just high level that I know these guys are wanting to get done. SCADA project, or let's just say the amendments number 3 and amendment number 4 are associated with the SCADA project and these were change control items. Is that correct, you guys?
Yeah, hi, Jackie, if I can characterize Jim Papademetrio, Wright Pierce, consultant. Item number 3 was, work that was done in process to keep the project going. We were able to save significant monies for the town by the electrical room becoming available to us, and we were able to move equipment from the filter floor, which was a NEMA 4X, costly equipment, if you would, enclosures and equipment out there and place it internal to a rack mounted unit in the electrical room. And that allowed us to save quite a bit of money. Additional savings for a temporary office where work was gonna be done and modified in the I believe in the lab room / office didn't need to be done. So there was work done without an amendment, but with verbal direction to go and complete this. That is, those items are highlighted in amendment number 3 for the dollar
Right.
values as of shown, okay?
So, Jim, how much money was saved? Let me ask you that.
I'd have to go back, I'm sorry, I'd have to go back to the specific change order.
Okay, so
Was
when
that-
Brad and I spoke earlier, and this work, by the way, for the board's
I can
benefit,
characterize this, change orders 1 through 5. Only, with all the savings, only amounted to an additional $2,600. For all change orders,
yeah.
okay?
Right, so the only thing, look, for the select board, the primary thing is that we don't run out of funds in the SCADA project, right?
Mhm.
So you're telling me that, you know, and I totally understand these things need to get done because these were done some time ago, the work, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Is that correct? And
Yes,
so we do need to approve these, wait a minute, we do need to approve these for sure, because the work was already completed. Amendments really should be brought forth to the board in the future. This is
totally
the
agree.
old
Totally,
regime, right, when it happens.
yep,
Now, you're telling me though,
actually,
because,
before it happens,
what's that?
before it happens. We'll
Right.
forth an amendment before it happens for the board's approval.
Correct.
Right. This was some of the old stuff still.
Yes,
So the total on these two, if I remember right, was around 42 grand, is that right?
well, let's just, if we could focus on amendment 3, for work that was already done was $29,626.
Correct.
If we
Correct.
go to amendment 4 wasn't fully completed as of yet, okay? We did some preliminary investigation. The previous, I guess, superintendent had asked us and had the idea of moving the existing soda ash and upgrading the equipment in the existing soda ash room to an adjacent chemical room that was quite a bit smaller, and said, hey, if we could move it there, have it constructed, and then swap over the chemicals, that would save us on significant dollars on temporary pumping from the contractor. That's the thought process. So the contractor can't come up with a number until Wright Pierce designs the changes. And then we would present that change order request to the contractor. Bay State and Bob and Wade Watson would put together a number and submit the overall either cost adder or cost savings associated with it. So.
I mean, just to lay it out there, Jim, I mean, as we go forward, and we didn't do this in the past, but please, as we go forward, if we're going to talk about that we saved money, it would be great if we could say, well, how much money did we save? And, you know, and even if it's ballpark, right, to give us a sense for, are we going to go over budget on the SCADA project or not? If all of this stuff can be done within the budget that we already have outlined, great, right? Because it's a constant moving thing, I could tell, right, from all these discussions. So I only ask, you know, the concern that we have is that let's make sure that we're still within budget, because then if you go out of budget, then we have to go back and go back and have another town meeting to get money.
Understood.
So my question really is, you know, because we're talking to Kelly, and I don't know if Kelly's on the phone.
No.
Okay. Kelly had said there was like 45,000 or some, you know, let's call it close to 50,000 left. This is gonna chew up a good portion of that, and if there's additional work that needs to be done, we need to know what it is.
Yeah, I can't, with regard to this particular amendment, I can't give you a number from the contractor. Till it's
Yeah,
signed, so, and I can't speak for them.
okay. So, then that would, what you need to know then, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong on the board, and Christina, the next time we go to the town for funding for anything is gonna be in December. And we may not turn around and do it again until February, March, depending on what is urgent,
Library.
right?
And we're not doing anything, Jackie, if you're talking about the December 9th special town meeting. Nothing
Correct.
on that agenda is gonna have anything to do with money. That would be affecting our tax rate or anything like that,
So November,
Okay, so then,
but I don't
is the
know,
last chance.
is the
go
last
ahead, Dave.
part?
Well, I'm not saying that. Look, from what I can see, there's not a need for us to ask for money out of free cash for this from the town. The water department would pay this. So would that be still a problem, Dave, or?
Yes. Because
Okay.
anything that requires potential for the town to vote money, whether it's from the water department or anything else, puts off setting our tax rate by DOR, so we want to have any money things
Okay,
by this November meeting. December shouldn't be money.
okay. So we're really
They have
Yep.
the money already?
say it again?
Are you operating under the assumption that the water department already has this money available?
Yes.
Okay, so then why, I guess I'm just confused why it would need to be on a warrant if the money is already there.
If it's above and beyond, it has to come out of a different bucket. Let's say it may have to come out of their reserve, or it may have to come out. That's why I wanted Kelly on the phone.
Okay, so,
They have, as I said before, they had 45,000 sitting in the SCADA project that could be used towards these two, right? To get them paid, right? So we could just sign these amendments and get it paid. If there's further monies that need to be allocated for the SCADA project, then we may have to go to the town, is all I'm saying.
Changes.
Does that make sense?
Not beyond this.
You say these two, but I'm seeing there's 3 amendments.
We're
Yeah.
only talking about 3 and 4 right now, though, right?
We're only talking about 3 and 4.
We're not talking about 5.
We're
Not at the
talking
moment.
Not yet,
about-
not yet.
So am I safe
So,
in Mary, no, I'm sorry, Papa Demetrio, am I safe in saying, yeah, I tried to call you Maris, I tried to.
That's all right.
Am I safe in,
Against you.
am I safe in saying that there's no foreseen more expenses on just the SCADA part of this, on your side of the design?
We're really, really close to the end of
To
this.
the end on your
Yeah,
design
yeah,
side of
yeah.
things?
Yep, the only thing that we talked about in the last part of the meeting was that with the 29,000, I have funds for O&M.
Correct,
I said I may have underestimated some of the budget that was allocated in here.
Mhm.
And I said, if I'm coming up on 80% of the bond, I'm just talking Amendment 3 now.
right,
If I'm coming up to 80-90% and I'm gonna need an extra 10 grand or something to finish, we said that I would let you know. Okay?
correct,
I don't,
because I have to let them know,
right.
right,
Other than that, like I said, we're really, really close. And the other issue was, I think, with warranties on some of the software,
yes,
but that's related to the contract,
and,
not my fees,
yeah,
not Wright Pierce fees.
correct.
Because with these
so,
This
go ahead.
2,600, so that puts us like right at what we have.
as of today,
Yes.
in the water capital expense account, they have enough to cover that. But I don't know, I can't say that that's what you guys are gonna use that for. I don't know if there's another assigned something that you plan to use the water capital expense for.
What Kelly told me is that there was enough money to cover this in what remains in the SCADA project.
Project, yes.
And that's where we take it.
That's what I understood too.
So I would, the bottom line, these two, 3 and 4, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say the word two. The 3 and 4 amendments, the work has already been completed, the bills need to get paid, and the money is there to pay it. So they're asking for approval on these 2 amendments.
Okay.
So the amount of money that we're approving is the 29,600.
And the 12.
And the 12,
And the 12,980,
correct.
yes.
So what's the total amount?
42.
42.
42,000.
Total, exactly?
$42,606.
Out of the 45,000 that was allocated.
Correct.
No, that's available,
Okay.
yeah.
We want to say that exact number because otherwise we got to go back and do this again. Right?
And you're putting math pressure on me. We just.
Yeah, I know. All right, so do you want to go ahead and,
60, carry the 1. Yeah,
Where's your
That
cell
was
phone?
great.
at? Where's your
you
calculator?
know, didn't want
You're a
to.
teacher, you should know this, right?
All right, are we making a motion? And that's,
yes,
okay, so a motion to approve, amendments number 3 and 4 with Wright and Pierce for the total of $42,606.
Second,
Any discussion?
no,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. What are we doing with amendment 5?
Yeah, what are we doing?
well, let's talk about that. So go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, so there was this, thank you. There was a separate study done by Wright Pierce. We were informed that, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, that there were some voltage dips and power fluctuations that were coming to the plant. A quick study was done. Wasn't done under the SCADA contract. It was done separately, and they found some deficiencies in the service. They call it the service feeder to the building from the utility pole all the way up through the woods up to the plant, that were causing some of the, for want of a better term, voltage dips.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a problem for electrical equipment.
It fries it.
Yeah, so for example, what would happen is if you had a voltage dip on a pump that's running, that's horsepower rated, the current would go up and potentially fry the motor, trip the breakers, but that's what those protections are in there. But it stresses the wires, it stresses the equipment, it stresses the breakers quite severely. So the proposal for Amendment 5, we were asked to put together, let me see if I can find it here.
So
This-
the cause of it was at the road, the utility put a transformer to take,
North Blanford Road,
and then they ran a really long extension.
mile
cord
and a half, mile and a quarter, something
through the
like that.
woods.
Wow.
And it's not an extension.
Underground.
cord, But
Okay.
for all intents and purposes, it's an extension cord to the water treatment plant.
Right,
And from there, that's how they power the plants.
Okay.
So if you can imagine, you have a mile-long extension cord and it's got power, you're gonna have fluctuations in your voltage.
Yeah.
And when it hits Jim's brand new equipment, Brad's pumps and the filters and everything, that frequency of the voltage and electricity is what causes wear and tear.
Now, let me ask you. When your extension cord, okay, wasn't that calculated into when we were putting the equipment in, having sufficient power to get to that equipment?
yeah, that wasn't even on the table. I mean, the equipment that's going in, the capacity to the facility is sufficient to run the equipment. The capacity is there. It's just from what I understand, it's at a higher it's at a lower voltage, okay? It's at a lower voltage and you have to use much larger conductors
Yeah,
for the voltage, a bigger extension cord, if you would, to compensate for a voltage drop.
We've had
Okay,
problems
now-
with this for years.
So-
Eversource aware of this?
Yeah,
So,
recently. I brought it up
Yeah.
to their attention recently because we've had problems for years
From
with
the
motors and
Yeah,
and
so,
devices blowing up, and we always thought it was lightning strikes.
I'll give you an example, Mr. Costano, that, at the time that the RFP came out and at the time where, we were putting together RFPs for the SCADA project,
yeah,
we were not aware at that time that there was an electrical issue.
so. I'm
We've
just
only,
looking for-
in
I'm
our,
just looking for the responsibility because, you know, if it's coming to money, there's, Eversource should be responsible.
Well, no, it was the designer
Yeah.
who originally designed it.
I dropped the ball.
20 years ago.
Okay.
yeah, Wright Pierce didn't design this.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
it just, like,
Actually, I called Eversource
yeah,
and I explained the problems we were having.
okay,
And the Eversource representative I was talking to said, well, that's kind of strange. He goes, I would like to send somebody out to take a look at the size wire that goes to your plant. He goes, that transformer should be outside of that plant, not all the way down by the road. He
that's
goes,
what I was thinking.
he says, that's a bad thing. He goes, I'd like to send somebody out to take a look at it. And they were already into their design
Yeah,
when we started talking to Eversource. Then Eversource came back and said, yes, this is a problem. That should have never been put together like that. And if it was, it should have had a bigger conduit with bigger lines going up there.
Mhm.
But the reason
So,
it was probably done like that 20 years ago was to save money.
Probably, yes.
You could save a couple pennies by having a really long extension cord than the problem wiring all the way to the plant. But you're having problems with it today.
okay. If I could, just for a second, if I remember right, this is one that you guys were trying to get a grant for, when the old supervisor was in place, and then that got stopped because of all that was going on. Is that correct?
That is correct. And in
Okay.
the last round, we did not ask for that the last round. We left that one out.
Correct, correct. A question I have is that I'm concerned of even attaching this to the SCADA project at all.
Mhm.
It's like you're changing scope midstream.
Right. I would agree with that. It doesn't have to be part of the SCADA project. In
Because
fact-
I don't think there's gonna be any money left in the SCADA project to do it, correct?
Thank you.
And we're looking at another 40, but
41,
41,000.
429.
Well, is that the design phase or is that the design and build of this? Jim?
I know.
Yeah,
when I
no,
was
that's
at
the
public
design,
works,
that's both design and construction services.
Okay,
So all the way through the construction. But again, this is quite a departure for SCADA and it doesn't have to be part of the SCADA project. In fact, if there's any way to, and this amendment can be withdrawn if you like, or voted against, however you want to do it. But if we can make that a separate project or part of the ozone project to protect that expensive equipment, that might make better sense. And I know we
I
had
think
some
it'd be,
preliminary
I think it'd
discussion
be
about
clearer.
that,
I
right?
think it would be clearer
Yeah.
if we did that. If we just,
You've had Eversource come out, none of this responsibility is on Eversource?
they said it was to do with the design of the plant.
Yeah,
But so you're calling it,
Eversource
and
had
it
to
just,
prove it.
you're calling it an extension cord, and I think everybody would agree that like, and I know that's not the real term, right? But that sounds like a temporary thing, like there should be a permanent thing, right?
Right.
And if it's coming from, if
Well,
ever-
see, Eversource stopped at the transformers, because where those transformers are, was our old treatment facility. So instead of building new transformers, putting new transformers, but they were saying the cost and moving them up to the new plant. I guess I wasn't here at the time, I wasn't anywhere. So I guess they thought that it would be cheaper if they just did a trench, underground trench, all the way to the plant and just put wires, thinking that
and who did the trench?
That was all part of their original project.
They're meaning Eversource or they're meaning, no,
Meaning,
the,
Town of Blaine.
yeah, the town of Blanford in, Pine
So, so when we were upgrading the plant, was Eversource made aware? Well, they came.
No one
and
ever
said
thought of
The
it.
transformers should have been up at the plant.
No one ever thought of it. I actually just figured it out because I had another issue someplace else that had a similar issue. And the more I thought about it, and the more I heard Bernie tell me about how we having all these lightning strikes, and I'm like, we can't have lightning strikes because there's no lightning. There's no storms that day. And it wasn't making sense. And then when I talked to Mr. Mitchell from Eversource, he goes, well, that don't sound right. He goes, I would like to send somebody up to look at that. He goes, that's really not, no.
So have they produced a plan to upgrade that? So
No, that's what this is. That's what this is.
That's.
That's what this is. Well, no, not Eversource. That's us. This is us. Because it's just like you're a homeowner.
Making it on up.
Well, yeah, it's just like you're a homeowner like me. I put electric underground from the pole to my house. It cost me $10,000.
Correct.
Yeah, it didn't cost Eversource a dime. It cost me.
Eversource is responsible for that wire coming from the pole.
No, we are.
No.
No, we are.
Absolutely.
No,
That's
Mr.
their
Costa,
meter.
no, if I may.
The
No,
meters at the transformer.
Yeah, if I
the
may.
meters at
The
the
meters
transformer.
at the transformer.
Yes.
Yeah, if I can direct your attention over here.
Yeah.
So, this is utility, this is Eversource right here, they're responsible for, this is probably, you have a meter and a circuit.
socket, yeah.
Meter socket, it's a disconnect. This is Eversource here, all right?
Now,
That's their scope of supply. This, from here on, that was all part of Ty and Bond. And the town. Okay, so what they did was instead of high voltage to a lower voltage, when you go to lower voltage being 480,
yeah,
now you have a larger conductor. You have larger conductors
yeah,
because of the lower voltage
yeah,
and a larger conduit.
correct.
What should have been done, or what can be done very likely, is from here, go complete high voltage, put this transformer right outside the plant.
Right.
And that's the service entrance that becomes a service entrance. So Eversource would be responsible for that whole.
They will be, but we have to build it.
You have to do it.
We have to build it and then Eversource gets to charge us for the electricity again. I mean.
Yeah,
I understand. I just
It's
dealt with
like-
it myself.
You know, it's like a plan that was made to fail.
Yeah,
And basically, that's exactly what it is.
But we have to fix it now because we're gonna.
Well,
start
yeah.
And the thing about it is,
All this,
right now, as long as the ozone is offline, we're not drawing that extra power. Because the ozone, I'll let you go ahead.
It's a big energy draw.
Yeah,
Ozone for, you take air, the air that we breathe, you hit it with electricity and you create ozone. So when you're making ozone as part of the treatment system, you're making a decent amount of ozone. And the technology that went into the plant 20 years ago used a lot of electricity. And when the ozone was running, the air compressor that you need to get the air to the ozone system was running. That was a beast. Your other pumps and other systems, it was a lot of electricity being drawn
Yeah,
through
it's
that.
insane.
What was it, $8,000, $7,000 a month in electrical? Yeah,
and I can remember back in the day when we got the fair. And the power lines along the poles going from pole to pole were on fire because of the draw.
Right.
All right, so I mean, that taken into consideration. I mean, these wires are underground.
Mhm.
What do we know about the conditions of the wires?
Do we need to know that to move forward? Sorry.
Not the condition of the wires. We can assume they're mediocre. We don't know the actual condition. We haven't looked at it. But
So,
in mind for this project,
Yeah,
it's a $300,000 price tag to bring the transformer a mile and a quarter through the woods. To the plant.
that's why I think it'd be better just to go ahead and make it a separate
So you're saying this 41,000 is for the engineering of this project and 300,000 is for the build? Am I hearing you correctly?
So for amendment 5, just
Yep.
to be clear, right? Sorry. Yes, 41, 492, that is 27, 133 for design
Yeah,
and an additional 14, 296 for construction phase services.
okay.
Meaning when it's being constructed, Wright Pierce provides construction.
But this work has not been done yet.
Correct.
No, this is all, yeah.
And so you're talking about tying this in with the larger ozone project,
What's a
Yeah.
possibility?
Potentially.
potentially.
Because it doesn't really exist anywhere right now. It could be its own project.
Uh-huh.
You could attach it to the ozone.
Is the ozone project contingent on this?
No,
No,
it's just, it would make the plant run better and smoother. And it has a potential to decrease your long-term O&M costs because you won't be
Mhm.
wearing out your equipment as fast.
Okay. Does that make-
but
I'm just trying to figure out a way to get Eversource to take some of this.
You
I'd be more
might
than
be able to
happy,
get
I'd be more than happy to have that conversation with them all.
Sometimes utilities like Eversource will have a loan program. They don't want to pay for it. But they will pay for the construction because they know they're gonna sell you electricity.
Yeah.
And they'll give you terms for 7, 10, however many years to pay back that capital cost of the construction.
Mhm.
Oh, interest loan?
But
I'm not sure what they might, you never,
Is that something worth pursuing?
I think everything should be. on the
Everything should be
table.
on the table. We all should pursue all
So, but
that.
we don't need to vote on amendment
No,
5
no.
tonight?
No.
Okay.
3 and 4 is the main ones that we were concerned about.
Okay, so this sounds like it needs to be something on your capital plan. So you have a basic price tag for it.
Sure.
So we need to add that, Jackie, to the capital improvement plan for water.
yep,
So it sounds like about a $350,000 price tag.
yep.
Okay, so
And the question becomes, there were grants out there for this before, are there grants out there for this now?
The same grants are out there before are there today. So
Okay, and would Wright and Pierce be the ones that would go after that, or?
We can
could
get
help
Liz.
the town,
Can
because
we
the
get
town has
Liz?
to apply, we can't apply for the town.
Yeah.
Can we get Liz to help us with that?
Yeah,
Liz
we did put in an application for the electrical two cycles ago.
Right.
And we.
Because we didn't do it this last time because we didn't have the authorization. We didn't talk with the guys. Right.
And if you need additional Wright Pierce support when you're having discussions with Eversource, we can get our electrical engineers in the conversation, okay?
That helps.
Dave,
Absolutely.
Because this is coming up as number 5 on the
Mhm.
SCADA project, I think your recommendation to withdraw that would.
Right.
Being started, so you withdraw that. Change
Yeah.
order now, then,
Oh, so you need to hear it for the record.
yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Wright Pierce is recommending the withdrawal of amendment number 5 for the change order for the electrical distribution fee to the plant.
so move. Second,
Second,
any discussion?
Nope,
All in favor?
yeah, aye,
All right,
Thank you, Dave.
All right.
okay.
Jackie, the next item is the, did we cover this already? The SCADA and control system upgrades or? is that-
Well, the ozone project itself, I think these guys can explain it, but this is the one that is most concerning because it's part of the whole things that we have to do for the DEP, is it DPU or DEP, guys?
DEP.
Okay, DEP. It's on the list, and if we don't do something, show some activity, it could just go very badly for us.
Okay,
So do you guys want to go through what your thoughts are on how we could fund this and get it going at least?
This is to change, which.
Are you talking about control? So I feel like we're talking about two different things, Jackie. I was looking at B, under new business, the water treatment plant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are
I'm
you
sorry.
talking about ozone,
This is
number,
number seven.
letter E?
Yeah, but let's go back. I'm sorry, I didn't see it because I don't have a printout, but I have it on my desktop. So let's go back to the water treatment plants.
We
I
talked,
think we already talked about that.
we're looking at C, we're looking at,
Yep,
C.
let's talk about that, the DEP current order, consent order.
The current order update,
Yep,
consent, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me just put those bad boys on.
Excuse me, Kara.
Yes, go ahead.
I guess it was on the previous agenda, the one that was sitting on the chair doesn't have it, but there was an additional change order that was number 7 that was on, up for discussion.
Okay.
what is that?
That's the one that we reviewed last month. That provides additional safety. Says during an on-site meeting, I'll read the rationale from the change order. During an on-site meeting, 11/4/2024, contractor expressed they'd like the engineer to update the motor control schematics, the modification of the controls, and the combined e-stop circuit. The modification of the controls provide simplicity, ease of use and operation for remote manual control down near the equipment, and the automatic PLC control. The e-stop configuration provides enhanced safety from category 0 to 1 with either a coast to stop or a program B cell to prevent potential water hammer. It's a recommendation of the engineer to use single channel lighted, and so on and so forth. But this also was part of a meeting that the previous superintendent had asked us to put together a change order for this, or make a change. So Wright Pierce did some redesign work, included in the change order, and Bay State contractors had put together, because they have to see the design changes, put together a change order for an additional $28,000, $28,218.51. And that would take the contract substantial completion out from March 11th to April 10th of 2026. So, I mean, this doesn't have to happen.
Mhm.
It can happen. It provides enhanced safety and ease of operation for the operators.
Okay, so this
Okay.
is regarding SCADA again.
Yep.
And it's an extra 28,000.
Yep, that 28 would be the contractor's cost, Wright Pierce's.
I mean, it sounds like we don't have any more money in SCADA right now. We about $3,000 left in SCADA.
Okay,
But that was for the engineering, wasn't it?
yeah, that's all the engineering. This is the actual
Right, so
construction cost.
the actual construction cost. So
Correct.
where was the loan for the construction cost? Because we had two separate, right?
2 separate loans?
I thought, or
I'm not-
or at least they were broken out differently.
I'm not sure how it was broken out.
So the 28 plus is the engineering.
No,
No, that's
no.
that's
This
the
is the
contractor's
actual,
cost to
this
implement.
is the actual contractor.
Yep.
For one of the other change orders,
So
yes.
we've already paid for the engineering of this change.
Yes. As part of that amendment number, I think is part of that amendment number 3.
Number 3, yes.
Has the work been done?
No,
The engineering's been done, Jackie, but for the change, but not the construction.
So
This is,
when all said and done, we're looking at $500,000.
it brings the contract, it brings the total contract price. The original contract I can give you this if you want,
The original contract price,
was $912,373.
right,
And with change orders 1 through, change orders 1 through 5, bring an additional 2660. I'm not counting the change if that's okay.
right.
This change order, number 7, adds an additional 28,218, and it brings a total contract price incorporating this change order to 943,251 and 83 cents.
So it's like 31,000 more. Right? Approximately.
Roughly,
Yeah, roughly.
yeah. I could submit this.
Sure, yes. So Jackie, what, do you have more information on how the SCADA project is getting paid? I know you've done a lot more research.
Well, I did, I talked to Kelly and Kelly said, I had some concerns because funds were coming out of buckets in the budget that had nothing to do with SCADA, right? Wherever the money was.
Correct.
And that's all been corrected. We are clean
Okay.
on what is available to us. The engineering folks have already been paid for this, correct?
That is correct.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. And you're looking for another 28,000?
no, not Wright Pierce. That would be a $28,000 increase to the contract by the contractor.
This
That's
is the
Understood.
actual.
Um,
And that would be ALM and
Yeah, that would be Elm, ITS, and Elm and ITS
Yeah.
primarily under Bay State.
and we haven't even talked about ozone project yet.
No.
I think that I don't have all the finances in front of me, but I think that we need to step back and have a consult with Kelly on anything that remains, that there's funding that needs to be done. And as Dave said, we can't do funding on anything right now. So this is just one of them. But the fact of the matter is that we did the upfront cost, right? Now you got the back end cost, which is the actual build. So it's like throwing that money out the door if we don't move forward with it. What's the risk of not doing it at this time?
At this time, it could always be done. It could be done later.
Okay.
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 If you get the funding, it could be done as a small contract.
Okay. Then I would
But the
Yeah.
only issue is
does your price change?
with your procurement, there'll be a price change with your procurement. Does it have to go out to bid, or can we do it as like a special project, or I don't know, would you have to go out? I guess the question is, we do have to go out to public bid for that
Yeah.
20,000.
Yes.
So then we,
8,000?
yeah, it
No, it's
was,
3 quotes.
So it had already gone out to bid? Is that what you're saying?
oh, you can get 3 quotes.
3 quotes.
Between $10,000 and $50,000
Yes.
is 3 quotes,
Yes.
but for any work
So it
that,
wouldn't have to go out to public bid is what you're saying.
no, but for any work that's being done on a town-owned property, any sort of like actual construction, like anything,
149.
it's a little bit more involved. You do have to advertise on the central register. There's more steps rather than if it's just if we're procuring a service. Go ahead.
We have Marius on the phone with Wright Pierce. He's 860 number.
Okay.
Is there any way that?
Do you want to unmute the caller from 860?
There you go.
Hello, everybody. I've been just sitting in. This is Marius Jedrzejkowski. I'm a project manager, regional group leader for Wright Pierce. I work with Mike and Jim. So the one thing I wanted to mention about the construction loan for the SCADA project is, whether you can add the 28,000 for the contract. So it depends on the appropriation amount for the entire SCADA project. So I don't know what that number was. I know we bid it first. The bids came in a little bit higher, so I think the town had to go back and have like a second town meeting. But typically we would budget like whatever that bid price was for the project plus additional 5%. So whether you can include that 28 as part of the SCADA project would depend on how much was the final appropriation from the town. If it was that 912,000, then, you know, you probably would have to go for another town vote to get the additional money appropriated. So I don't know what that final number was that the town voted on for the SCADA project. Thank you.
So I would say, let's put this on the list,
Yeah.
Kind
all
of
right? Because
thinking.
we need to see the holistic picture, I think, of what's needed, right?
Well, my question is, what is the risk to the equipment? If we do like you said, and hold back on some of it, I don't wanna be replacing switches and compressors and all that other stuff while we're waiting to do this.
What do you think, Mike? What do you think?
I thought this was in like an operator safety.
Yes, that's
Improvement.
basically what it is, yes.
So it's not, it's if an operator is in a situation working on a pump and something goes bad, there's a button close by that they can hit to kill all the power to everything.
If they're there,
Well, yeah, if the operator's
there
working over a
Yeah.
pump
yeah,
and all of a sudden it turns on.
okay.
And it
there's a
couldn't
kill
turn on.
switch.
It is a kill switch.
Yeah.
But it's multiple kill switches for all the pumps in places where the operators
Yeah.
can get at them. And not just at the pumps, but in other places in the plant.
And this isn't something we were concerned about initially.
We were trying to, first of all, there were emergency stops there, but it only controls one piece of equipment. Any one of these E-stops that are hit for the equipment will kill all the equipment. So,
Not
if they're-
just
kill
cut
the
it
equipment
down.
dead, it kills the power.
yeah, yeah, so, yes, thank you.
Pete, what's
I
your
see
thought
that.
on this?
So let me give
you run.
let me give a scenario. So if the person was working down in the pump pit and it was a pipe break, right? He wouldn't have to run over if the pump is 10, 15 feet to his right or left. He wouldn't have to run there. He could hit the pump, the E-stop right in front of him, and all the pumping shuts down.
Okay,
All the pumping
yeah,
shuts down.
that's a good safety feature, yeah.
So
Yeah, especially as deep as that pit is. It's a
How
deep
long
pit.
can you tread water?
Well, and I don't like delaying anything that has to do with safety, but I'm trying to figure out why this never was brought up way long ago, if it's a safety issue.
Well, we were trying to keep as humanly possible the costs down and to prevent changes in overruns. And we were trying to use as much of the existing design as possible. Okay.
Well, then my thought is right at this very moment, we don't know where this money is going to come from. So we have to consult finance, our accounting group, right? So we would want to keep it on the list, high up on the list would be my recommendation. I mean, unless there's no other place that we can get it at the moment.
The gentleman across the table mentioned that there's another meeting and that all additional funds have to happen before December, correct? Because it affects
By November
It has to be in the.
by November
We
7th.
have a special town meeting scheduled for November 17th, so at that time, there could be, well, you have to have funds to transfer funds, but.
Yeah, okay.
True.
And when's the warrant
Well,
posted?
the warrant's already posted.
Yeah.
Well,
Is the transfer of funds?
Right, that's the challenge.
Say it again.
Is the transfer of funds subject to the warrant?
it depends where the funds come from.
Where, so if
What were you saying, Dave?
like if they want to take it out of their stabilization account, yes, it has to go to town meeting, if that's what you're asking.
What if it's within the water department?
If it's within a pre-existing
But
line
they're-
that's not a special account, they can pay it from where they would like to pay it from.
Are there reserves a special account?
Reserve is handled by
How
the
much,
committee and can only be transferred out with the vote of a finance committee. Unfortunately, right now, we don't have quorum. We could have it on special town meeting. It's something to vote for.
but Christina, you
Account,
said there was money in the capital expenditure account for them?
they have an account that is labeled water capital expense, although we were supposed to change the name of that because it's not a true capital account.
Yeah.
they do have funds sitting in a water capital expense account. It's about 50,000, but I don't know what that's for.
I recommend tabling it for now.
Okay.
Do we get a chance to talk to Kelly and?
Yeah,
That's, we got too much other stuff we gotta take care of.
Yeah. Okay, so that's something that you have on your list to talk to the financial team about. Okay, so let's move on. The next item on the agenda is 2026 Rural Development Grant approval for raw water inlet design, $80,000.
Skip C.
Did I say C? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is
See,
my
this is
order.
what keeps happening when I take out my reading glasses. Mass DEP consent order update. No, we talked, that's what we were supposed to be just talking about before.
I think that
No.
those were just aspects of the consent order, I
Okay.
believe.
Yes.
Do we have a copy of it? I don't know that anybody has seen, I haven't seen a copy of the consent order. Have you guys?
Yeah.
Think so.
We have one digitally in our files. We can send it to you to
Okay.
distribute. But essentially the town is under a consent order from Mass DEP for violating the disinfection byproduct rule. And the disinfection byproduct rule is there's certain chemicals of concern that are in the water distribution system.
That's not a
The
copy.
town sampled as it was scheduled to do. And the results came back higher than DEP's thresholds. So they issued this consent order and said, get these contaminants of concern down. And the town's been working towards that goal. So they asked you guys, there were 10 short-term goals that they wanted you to do. You've taken care of 7 of those goals. And mostly it was with the filters, with flushing of the water mains. But one thing with the disinfection byproducts, it comes about when the total organic carbon is like the input that comes into the water system from your reservoir. And it's a whole slew of different carbonaceous chemical compounds. And when that gets hit with chlorine, the chlorine oxidizes those carbonaceous compounds, those chemicals, out in the distribution system, and it makes these disinfection byproducts. When the plant was originally designed and built, the ozone system was a pre-oxidant for that total organic carbon. And it would oxidize that carbon, turn it into something that would hit the filters and get filtered out. So the carbon never made its way into the distribution system where it could turn into these disinfection byproducts. But with the ozone system offline, that is, the carbon's getting through, you're making the disinfection byproducts, and you're exceeding DEP's guidelines and the consent decree is here. So there's 3 things left on the short-term goals for the consent decree. One is the raw water inlet for the plant. So there's a gigantic reservoir of water. Is it Long Pond? Is that what it's called? And that's the source of drinking water. There's a pipe that goes into Long Pond, and it has it's a drum screen. So it's a drum that has a screen wrapped around it, wire, whatever, and the water flows in through that and then goes into the plant. One of the problems is I think the pond has a depth of, I don't know if it's like 50 or 80 feet deep at its deepest point, but the screen is like 10 feet
Okay,
below the surface of the water.
I was gonna ask about that, yeah.
So it's very shallow. And because it's shallow, in the summertime, the water in the reservoir and the pond heats up.
Yeah,
So the raw water going into the plant is warmer. And warmer water is not that great for drinking water systems. Also being shallow, it's more prone to algae and
Yeah.
leaves and things like that. And which is carbon that would get pulled in. And so DEP wants the town to look at a secondary inlet deeper, further into the pond and deeper. And that's where item D comes in. But before we get there, the second item that they want the town to look at is there's an inline basket strainer on the raw water line. So you've got that drum screen out in the reservoir.
mhm,
And then coming into the plant, as soon as it enters the building, right up against the wall, there's a basket strainer. And a basket strainer would be just like a filter.
Like a pool filter.
Well, no,
Oh.
not the pool filter is the slow sand filtration units.
Okay.
That's the pool filter.
It's like the thing in the skimmer.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like the whole thing, and then it goes and,
Sure.
Yeah.
So the skimmer, except the strainer has much smaller holes than in the skimmer. And the strainer's in this piece of iron equipment that's tucked in a corner that has 8 bolts on top of it. And when you take those 8 bolts off, you pull out a basket, and the basket is your pool skimmer. And that might be clogged with leaves and little fish that get past the screen out. But what that does when it's in place is as those holes get clogged and bound up, it'll starve your plant for water.
yeah,
In order to take the basket out to clean it, you have to turn the plant off.
okay,
And then you take it out, you clean it, you put it back in, plant goes back online. And in a very short amount of time, it's clogged up again. And before the SCADA went in, and even today, because there isn't provisions for it, well, you would see it in the SCADA. I think the operators wouldn't know like how far along they are,
mhm,
how many of those holes are left for water to flow through in the skimmer. So ultimately, it was decided to take the skimmer out and just let flow go through the plant.
what happens to all the debris?
It gets caught in the filters.
Once you take the skimmer out?
Once you take the skimmer out, it goes through the system.
So,
DEP saw that the skimmer was out, and they said your water treatment plant, when it was designed, we approved a design that had a skimmer in place. And you have to put a skimmer in place,
mhm,
or you have to change your approval for the treatment plant. So that's one of their items, is to fix the basket strainer. And there's different options that we can look at. There's kinds that automatically flush. There's kinds that have quick disconnects. There's also a potential to put in a secondary line on your inlet so that you don't have to take the plant offline when you're cleaning out the strainer. But that's the second item
Okay.
that DEP has on the consent decree. And the last one is ozone. And again, if there was an ozone system, it would oxidize bulk of the carbonaceous chemicals going into the plant. And the disinfection byproducts, they might still be there, but they wouldn't be there to the extent that they are now.
Now, in the plant itself, is there like a reverse osmosis system or a backflush system?
There is for the filters.
There is for the filter.
Yeah. And that's one thing the plant's done, and they've done a great job, is they've improved their backwashing of the filters over the last few years.
Yeah, because that was like non-existent when I first came here, and then we slowly got into better and better and changed the piping and got it to where we could backflush a lot better.
Isn't backwashing done on a manual basis, correct?
It is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so many thousand gallons go through and then
Right.
it automatically goes through back.
No, we have to do it manually.
You do it manual.
We have to,
With the SCADA system, you're gonna notice a reduction in flow over time.
Mhm.
Okay, and the associated valve that's trying to keep the filter level constant is gonna go more open, more open, more open. And at that point in time, you're going to deduce by looking at the information that a backwash is gonna be necessary of a filter. So you'll start to see filter performance drop off. So it's not just done on a time interval, it's
Yeah.
done when it needs it.
Oh, okay.
So that will enhance the filtering performance.
I always thought they were on a automatic backflush system.
Thank you for explaining that.
Can I ask one question of those three things that you had just outlined that are part of the consent decree? Nothing that was part of the consent decree has to do with the SCADA project?
SCADA project was in the consent.
It was in the
Plant
consent
automation.
decree. Okay.
One of the first things the town had to do was come up with an asset management and capital improvement. plan.
Okay, thank you.
SCADA was part of the capital improvements plan, and we put that into the consent.
Thanks.
I didn't look into it, but did we lose a log removal with the UV?
I don't know. With the log
with just taking that out of service, like,
for disinfection,
yeah,
the ozone.
I'm ozone.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And what Pete's talking about is there's the log removal. It's a lot of complicated math, but they want you to remove like log 3, I think, 99.9% of Giardia and Cryptosporidium, which are biological things that cause stomach problems. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I did go up there last week with some workers from Springfield Water, and we got the UV 254 running.
Okay.
The water quality coming in is really good, and I think they're putting out an 023 leaving. Very good numbers for this time of year, though.
So without the ozone, you guys are relying
I'd like to
more on
excuse
your
myself.
filters.
So none of the sorry, Mike,
No,
none of the
okay.
agenda items pertain to SCADA, so I'm going to
Oh.
excuse myself unless anyone has any further questions before I leave.
I don't think so. Jackie, any more questions before Jim leaves?
No.
No, okay.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Mike.
Thanks.
All right. So have we been granted the 80,000
Yes.
for? Okay,
Yeah,
and is that for the design or one or both? It's for both, tell me it's for both.
It's not.
so it's this past cycle,
Uh-huh,
the town did apply to One Stop,
yeah,
which is the Executive Office of Economic Development for the Commonwealth. It's like you put in one application and they have a bunch of different grant programs and they see which one applies. So you applied for $80,000 for the design of the raw water intake for the screen out in Long Pond, and you were awarded that.
excellent.
You also applied for $330,000 for ozone construction. And that was denied. And it was denied because there wasn't a design. Really.
It was what? It was denied why?
Essentially because it hasn't been designed.
Okay,
When
there was
when
no
the-
backup information.
Yeah, so
yeah,
Wright Pierce last year did a preliminary evaluation of the ozone system to take a look at the existing equipment that you have and could it be rehabilitated and put back into service. The company that services that equipment says that they don't They don't sell it anymore, they don't stock it anymore, and it would be very difficult to find parts for it. They do have new equipment that's smaller, more efficient. And would do a better job at providing ozone for your system. And when we were given an equipment cost from that vendor for the ozone equipment. And we know that there's going to be certain electrical components that go along with it, instrumentation that goes along with it, piping, supports, demolition of the existing room, not demolition full scale, but like selective demolition. There's going to be ancillary work that goes along with that equipment, and we have put in contingencies to cover the cost of that ancillary work because we didn't really know what the extent was at this point in time. And when the Executive Office of Economic Development saw those contingencies, they were as large, if not larger, than the cost of the equipment. They said timeout, that they didn't feel comfortable approving the grant.
Okay.
Not that they wouldn't approve a grant for.
They just needed the
ozone.
information.
They just need the numbers to be tighter.
So we could reapply after we have more information.
Yes.
Yeah, if we can tighten up the number so there's not much of a window. It's too broad of a window. They didn't feel comfortable with that broad of a window. Was the way that I understood it when the meeting, because we had a closeout meeting with One Stop.
Okay.
Why didn't you get the grant? What's the question?
Okay.
Yeah, and then we just asked those questions to them and they basically came back and that was the major thing. It was too broad of a window for
Right.
costs. It wasn't, they would like to see it a lot tighter.
Okay.
And also at that meeting with One Stop, kind of skipping ahead to item E1. The town does have an existing grant with rural development through One Stop for
Water tank installation,
tank design.
350,000.
Yeah. So the tank design, a booster pump station design, and then construction of 550 feet of water main associated with the tank and the booster pump station.
But that's not part of the consent order, the tank?
The tank,
It does have something in here.
it's in the capital improvements plan.
It's also in
Okay.
the, what do you call it? I got it right here.
Sorry.
Well, it's it's your study,
So there's two
BEP,
things,
I have it right there.
there's two things with the tank and why historically the town has had tanks in the past.
Yeah, we have one, but.
1909, 1950, two different tanks, a cement tank in 1909, I think that was. And then later on, they switched in 1930 something to a steel tank, and then it was rebuilt in 1950. I was just reading it in this order right here from DEP.
And then you bought a tank.
Yeah, yeah. So it's had, and then finally in 2009, it failed. And they took it offline.
So there's no storage,
No,
as you would call it, storage in the distribution system. And that the tanks provide three things classically. They provide fire storage, so that if there's a fire, the fire department has the ability to take more water out of the distribution system than what the treatment plant can put in. There's an equalization component so that your tank sits at a certain elevation and the elevation of the water is what controls the pressure of the water coming out of your faucets. So if you had like a water main break or a fire, you don't want big fluctuations in your tank because you're gonna see that potentially in your house. And the other is emergency storage. So that if a gigantic eel plugged up that inlet and you weren't getting any water at all into your plant, or if your extension cord finally fried and you weren't able to run your plant and there wasn't anything coming out, you would have water in your tank to be able to get you through a day and a half until you could figure out something to get your plant back going. Those are the three American Water Works Association categories of why you need storage
Okay.
in your system.
Makes sense.
That's the problem with the tank that Brad was talking about, was that the elevation of the tank was only 1 foot higher than the highest section on
Yeah.
on North Street.
Yeah,
So you only had that to play with.
right. It wasn't a lot. Right now, the storage that the town has is in the clear well at the treatment plant. And the clear well it's a part of the treatment process. And you can imagine water comes in the top and it goes out the bottom. And in that clear well, that's where your final disinfection and everything happens to kill all the bugs that are going to make you sick before it goes out to us. That shouldn't be counted as storage, but today it kind of is your storage. So that's the reason why the tank was conceptualized as a project.
Okay.
Pete, were you at the meeting with Marius and myself when we found a more inexpensive way, instead of building another building or having a building put in? Marius and I think you were in that meeting.
Yeah,
And we talked about the double pumps. That
that was after the rural development.
correct.
So that's with the pump station. The pump station that you have on North Street is also old. There's no control at that pump station. And you have a blow off valve, because you need to maintain you have the water from the plant at a certain height, and you have these other houses up here, and they need water too. So your pump station pumps the water up to them so that they have pressure at their house. There's no storage on that system, and the pressure comes from the pump station pumping water in. Because there's no control at your pump station, it's constantly pumping. So even if those houses aren't taking any water, your station is still pumping
A certain pressure.
to maintain pressure. But if no one's drawing any water, it
has to waste it, basically.
Yeah, and so you don't overpressurize the line. There's a blow off, and the pump station's constantly blowing off water so that it doesn't overpressurize the line. It's also another situation where the pumps are old and it's hard to get replacement parts. So we were looking at originally a pump station building, another building like what's there now, but they have other technology for booster pumps. And really what you need are small booster pumps, because there's only a handful of houses. And these are inline vertical pumps. You don't need a building. There's still a generator, there's still a control panel. But we'd think that the capital cost associated with that would be a lot less than a building, like a traditional booster pump station.
Would be a lot cheaper.
We wouldn't lose our water so much.
Well, that, and we'd
So-
still be putting a tank in, we'd still have a tank,
Yeah.
and it would still pump up to the tanks.
Yeah.
So then now you got your storage. Now you don't have your fluctuation like we saw this weekend, with all the problems we had with that weekend.
Yeah.
Now you have your tanks, now you have your and then you still have your pumps, but now you don't have the cost of that extra building.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen the difference in the price yet.
We're working
So,
it.
you need us so we received this grant for the 80,000. Do you need us to move on anything for that, or?
Other than trying to get something set up with Kelly, I don't think so right at the moment.
Well,
in that part.
someone has to approve it.
Mhm.
You have to approve.
You have to say you're gonna take it.
Okay, so I think we need to just a motion, or of course,
Well,
we'll ask them, Christine. Go ahead,
I
Jackie.
think my only question was, and as I'm listening to all this, right? All of these are design phase.
Yeah.
And like on this one in particular, the intake one, And correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, wasn't it around 300,000 that's gonna cost if we get into the construction phase, or do you have any thoughts there?
I think that was the ozone.
That was the ozone.
No.
Yeah, the pipe,
Okay.
the
What
intake,
about what about that one, the intake?
Take was around 200.
Okay,
But so like the design is the first step towards other funding, whether it's.
understood, but when we're, as a group here, as a select board, we're looking at it holistically too, right? You've got the first phase, but then we have to understand that the second phase is gonna start adding up.
Yeah.
Right? So we got 200,000 there for the intake, let's just give or take, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the ozone, which we haven't even done the design phase, correct?
Correct.
And we think the design phase is gonna be
The
how
design
much?
was around 75.
75K, and then the build phase would be like 300 and something,
Yeah,
right?
There was 3 options, I think, provided, right?
yeah, there were 3 options for.
The highest being a little about 320.
Okay,
So,
so, and was there a third one, Mike? Did I hear you say a third one?
the
yeah,
third was the inline screen,
no, there's 3 here.
the back.
No, not the options, I'm sorry, she's talking about the consent order, 3 things that were still.
Right,
Yeah,
Oh.
so it's the basket screener at the treatment plant.
For inlet.
But it's not like we have a choice on these.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, I mean,
So,
have to be done, is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I mean,
well,
you could start.
we don't have a choice, but we have a choice in terms of how, like, what are the things that we were talking about in that meeting, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, and Brad, was that it's really getting through the process with the DEP, and if you're showing progress,
Correct.
right?
Yeah,
And on the intake, obviously, we have progress because we have the 80,000. The ozone is where we don't show progress, right?
right.
Well, in one aspect we do, because we did put in for the loan.
Right,
So now we just
Right.
have to come back with, I guess on our side, we gotta come back with a tighter set of numbers.
Well, so when we were meeting with EOED,
Right.
Rural Development,
Right.
we were talking about your existing grant that you have with them. And those 3 components, the tank, the booster pump station, and the water main replacement. And we had asked, could that water main replacement, those dollars be reallocated to the
The
ozone?
ozone design.
Yeah. And
We have a letter of that someplace.
so we have a draft letter that we just sent over that kind of identifies the history with the consent order, the work that's been done, the work that needs to be done, and then the request to you would need to rewrite the contract with the state so that the water main replacement wouldn't be part of the contract, but instead ozone design and that inline basket strainer design construction would be in lieu of the water main replacement. And
Right.
the water main replacement could be attached to the storage tank project as a part of that project at some point in the future.
okay. So what we need to demonstrate to the DEP, though, is that we're at least moving on the ozone for the design phase, right? And what you're saying, the thought is to request this money from what we already had it allocated for, which was also very important, right? But it's not DEP focus, those other 3 items,
Yeah, the
Right.
line isn't, yeah.
right?
And the line was to address like historical water main breaks generally.
The intake,
Right.
the intake being down only 6 feet is a huge problem too, you know?
Yeah.
Becoming to
Right, and that one,
out of water altogether.
right, and that one we already have the 80,000 for, right?
For the design, yes.
Right, for the design phase.
And one stop would be a good funding source for these capital improvements.
Okay.
So can I, we have the 80,000 for the design phase of this strainer inlet.
The
Intake.
The one in the pump,
Right.
yeah.
So, but this draft letter is asking to reallocate 50,000 for design and replacement of the water strainer. We are,
right, which is inside the
The
plant.
strainer, the
oh
two
no,
things.
those are two different.
Those are two
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah, and that's the one that had the other consent order, the strainer thing.
So they're
Did
just,
you get anything from us on the 80,000 grant?
I believe we've already accepted.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't need anything else from us on that, okay.
We just have to sign something back to them, right? Or
who's
send
gonna,
something?
who would be the signatory on the contract between the town and the state?
One of us.
Okay,
So somebody will have to sign off on
Okay.
that. To that.
There's a meeting on the 6th
Okay.
at 2 with rural development about the
Have they sent you the grant paperwork, the award letter, but I
they
don't,
sent me the whirler. I haven't seen anything else from them yet. I can email them.
But that's when they have the meeting on the 6th, right? And they'd
Yeah,
probably say something like
There's
that.
2 meetings. There's the meeting that's gonna happen in the morning's gonna be with
DEP.
DEP because they are going to want to know about the consent orders. And then the meeting in the afternoon at 2, that's the one about the award.
And the meeting with DEP is a regular meeting. They have
Yes.
them, you know,
Okay.
occasionally just to make sure the town's making progress.
Okay.
so this is, I guess, the letter that Wright and Pierce has drafted,
I should-
sent to Angobi.
Yeah,
I gave her a copy of it.
so, EOED, they said that it would be best if this request came from the town. I'm
Okay.
not sure who from the town it should come from, but this is a draft letter. And if they approve it, this would give you the funds to design ozone and design and possibly construct that inlet screener, basket screener.
So this would give us funds to have a better design to go back and request a grant.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Right.
I understand. Okay. So. if you
But
want-
that means we're gonna have to find funding for those items that we're taking the money from too later.
Mhm. That'll be a meeting with our finance team, Jackie.
Yep, yeah, we really need to lay all of this out and kind of look at what's the short and the long on this stuff and figure out financially what this really means.
And water, have you guys heard anything from RCAP?
Other than saying they were happy to work with us.
I thought
they
they were
like-
starting the audit, no?
No,
I haven't,
they looked at everything. She gave them all the stuff they asked for. They said, thank you very much. And
Jackie, have you heard from RCAP?
I have not,
Okay, I think we need to reach back out to them and see where they are in the process.
yep,
So the water tank installation, we were granted the 350,000 through the rural program. If we reallocate these funds, that leaves us with 225,000 for the water tank installation.
And
Wouldn't
booster
that,
pump sta-
well, I'm sorry,
it's for the water tank design.
design, I'm sorry,
And the
yeah,
booster pump station design.
Yes.
which is why I said to them when they said about having the building, I said, well, how much are we gonna save? We get rid of the building and go with the 2 pumps instead of having the whole prefab building brought in. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it'll be a lot cheaper.
But you're talking about $325,000 for design?
No,
No?
it was
Mm-mm.
25,000
for the design.
from the grant for the design of the tank and the pump station. Wright Pierce is currently under contract with the town, so there's no additional money to do the design. The design's
But you still need 75,000 for the ozone design.
correct. And because the fiscal year 25 grant was for $350,000. And 225 is associated with the tank and pump station design. That left 125 associated with water main replacement. So the request would be to take that 125 and use 75 for ozone design and 50 for the basket screener at the plant.
So that's your motion.
Yes, that's what he said. Second, Joanne, did you get that?
No, but I will on the tape.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay.
So do you want her to switch that over? Or do you want her to
If
do
you
it?
could just get me a finalized copy of this, I'll get it signed for you.
And
Yeah.
Word,
You
I'll
wanna,
send you a Word.
On
form.
Word would be good, yeah.
I just wrote on her letterhead and whatnot. Sign it. Excellent. I feel like I understand it a lot more, but I'm also, there's a lot to be confused about, so.
it
There's a
doesn't
lot of
take, it
information.
doesn't take much to make your head spin,
That's, yeah, I know,
especially when you start pulling all of them.
yeah,
I think it's easier if you just stay concentrated on one.
yeah,
We gotta
that-
replace the seals in the pump house now.
You're gonna have to,
I mean,
you're gonna have to. That one is bad.
at what point do we just say, let's just build wells? I mean, we're
You know-
talking like millions of dollars, you know,
Hey, you know, Kara, when the guys put that plant together, I was working for a well driller in Otis, and he came to the board at that time and said, I'll drill everybody in town a well.
that's kind of what I'm wondering, if RCAP is gonna come back and be like, you guys, this is. I'm just curious.
The only problem is in the center of town, you can't drill wells, you got too many septic systems.
So maybe that's not even, yeah,
That'd be kind of
it
tight.
just feels so overwhelming a lot, you know, at once.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Mike, for explaining that in a way that
Anytime.
I can understand. I appreciate it.
No, he's very good at that.
All right.
How did it say?
But
Just,
just to be clear, Mike, once I get that signed, I send it back to you, or you're saying it should come directly from an email address within the town?
Yeah. that would be
Okay.
nice.
Got it.
You can copy this.
Sure.
How did
All right.
it-
can I say something while we're here on Talk with Water? Thank you, Kara, for keeping in touch with me this weekend with the little problem. I did see some things, and Pete brought up one of the things that I hadn't noticed and I didn't know about was that leak in that pump head there around that shaft. And I said something to Steven about it. I asked him what's the possibility of rebuilding, because I've seen a couple new heads sitting there on the floor too, you know, or, you know, the housings. And he said he didn't know if he had a seal kit for it or whatever. Did you talk to him about that?
No, I just told him we gotta fix it.
So just to bring you up, timeline wise,
Mhm.
somewhere around 3:30, 4 o'clock, Steve Hart called me and said he had lost water pressure. And then soon afterwards, you contacted me about some people being out of water. I contacted Steven. Steven was in Westfield at the time.
Yeah.
Steven says, well, I probably won't be back to about 4:30. But Steven dropped everything and turned around, came right back. And he put the other pump online to try to bring the pressure back up. Went to the plant to look for how much water was being used.
Mhm.
Well, when he got to the plant, he said he didn't see much fluctuation or didn't see much movement. Well, when he came back to the pump house, one of the pumps had shut off, therefore not pumping what it was losing.
Yep.
All in all, we were losing approximately 220 gallons a minute
Jeez.
is what we were losing on that break,
Yeah.
is what we calculated with Steve. So Steve then said, well, you know, as much as I hate to admit this, I think we got a break. I said, well, let's not be hasty and go jump in the boom here until we find out for sure.
Yeah.
So Steve started shutting valves off. I stayed at the pump station watching the gauges to make sure whenever they slowed down. And finally, when we got to the McDonald's valve, he started to shut it down. He says, I think it's shut, but he said, it's making a lot of noise. I said, well, it slowed the meter down a little bit, but it didn't stop it.
Mhm.
He said, well, let me shut the other one off, because there's two we can shut off there. One's ahead of the other, one's ahead of the pit, one's behind the pit. So he shut the one off ahead of the pit, and as soon as you shut that one off, dead, quiet, everything stopped. So then I told him that, and he says, well, let me go over and shut the other one. So he shut the other one, then opened the other one back up, and it just didn't move. So we knew at that point, that was about 9 o'clock. We knew that it was McDonald's.
Yeah.
So then we started he'd already called Eric Main earlier to give him a heads up, which is Mass DEP.
Mhm.
And not DEP,
Yeah.
DOT. So he already called him, and so he already knew that it might be something up. So by 10 o'clock, we had everybody on the DOT side informed and everything. We'd already talked to eastbound and westbound and told them that they were being shut down because of a water leak. We also talked to Jen on several occasions, back and forth. And then, in the morning, I think, what time, I talked to you sometime Saturday, didn't I?
Yeah, I was up there.
Yeah, you were up there too.
We called DEP, got them involved because it was right in the, right in a swampy area where the water break was, where the valve was. So being in that spot there and losing its pressure, swamp water could get into the.
It could suck it back in.
So, that's why we decided to do a bacterial test and all that, flush bacteria test. So they're down for 48 hours.
I guess the samples were sent out today and we should know by tomorrow. What
That
Steve
is
said this
correct.
morning.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, thank you. It was done very well.
Well, there's a few more things we could make a little better. We'll figure our communication out a little better. But it was trying, it wasn't that hard to keep up. I mean, as far as
Yeah.
talking to everybody, but it was just, you get involved in something and
You forget.
you forget to call somebody, that, "Oh, I better call them right now, or I better call this person." But we talked to, MEMA, we talked to, well, you guys talked to DEP, because that's when you found out it was in the swampy area. Even the state police, we'd already talked to the state police too. At that point, we talked to Adam. We already called Mark Boomsma, just in case it was on our side, the leak was, in case we needed an excavator or somebody to excavate. We kept him in the loop until we figured out that it was in McDonald's, and we called him and released him from that part of it. So I think we had everything pretty much. Steven did a really good job, I'd like to say. For someone handling his first break like that by himself mostly, I think he did a really good job. I don't know,
Yeah.
Pete, what do you think? Did you say you did a good job? And then Pete and I talked later about back and forth with the DEP on the testing side of things. And we both agreed that they needed to do the bacterial test from where it was at. Plus, I think we should have them do it anyhow.
Okay.
We're replacing it. Because it, like you said, protects us, you know?
All right. Well, thank
Could
you.
just, sorry,
These are the amendments.
The Marmaris.
Yes.
yes, hi, I kind of want to mention something here, talking about the McDonald Plazas and DOT there. I know the previous superintendent, I know the DOT is planning to do makeovers or upgrades to those service plazas on the Turnpike. So I think the previous superintendent, I don't know how much the select board knows about this or the water commissioners. I know he was trying to get in touch with the DOT project manager responsible for those upgrades, because if we could maybe partner with them and kind of associate maybe the pump station and the tank project with those plazas, because they provide water directly to McDonald's and the service plazas. If those plazas are getting upgraded, there could be some maybe potential grants or cost sharing for the town. So I'm not sure where that project stands, but I know that the previous superintendent was trying to get more information and to see if the state will be willing to share the cost of the construction of the pump station and the tank that directly will serve those service plazas.
So the contractor for that the state had contracted with, I think it was Apple Green.
Yeah.
It's no longer
A deal.
a deal. So that's all kind of on hold right now.
Okay. But yeah, I just didn't know, there was an opportunity for the town to talk to DOT and see if there's any, potential cost savings. I mean, that would help the town and the water department as well. So I just want to bring it
Good
up.
point.
Hey, Mary.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right. So thank you guys. Thank you, Water, for joining us. I appreciate it. Oh, you just need to sign this.
Thank you, Mike. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Mike, for coming up.
Thanks,
You don't
Mary.
get to sign this. I don't think there's.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody.
Are there
Night.
amendments that you need for them to sign?
Right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Did
Yes, Joanne.
get Steve's message?
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank
Did
you.
you get Steve's message?
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Mary.
No, I mean, this weekend. He sent you a message. Looks Friday.
I can't
I
break.
have two bottles.
He was trying to get on the Blackboard. And
Oh, that's not.
Saturday, it's a long water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Bob Twyman.
I just,
That took us a few hours, like an hour to figure out.
good.
He must have his mic off right in here.
Sorry, hi, Mr. Twyman. All right, next up, we've got appointment, we've got our finance appointing committee. So this consists of our moderator, Mr. Hobson, select board, and our town clerk. And Sarah, do you want to come on down? All right. So,
Oh, I printed
We
copies.
have, it.
Oh, you got
we have yours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
all right,
Wow.
so,
I have to scan the stuff to right here. Or else
yeah.
I'll make sure it gets scanned. Would you like me to see
No.
to send it to right in here's the signature is?
You can definitely CC, if you want, CC on the signature,
Oh, yeah, thanks.
sending it out.
The amendments?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
all right, so,
We'll open up the finance
Thank you, guys.
appointing committee.
yeah, can we officially do that?
Yeah.
You are, it's your meeting now?
I
That
mean-
sounds glorious to me. Go for it.
So we have one person here. Guess we'll just do one tonight then.
Oh,
What are you looking for help?
It's gonna be two.
Oh,
Yeah,
she figured out what really went on.
yeah. Somebody got to her.
I haven't spoken with her.
But Sarah's here and she's not scared away. So,
Right.
so you have a resume. Any
Yep.
questions for Sarah?
I just tell it, why are you interested in joining finance committee, Sarah?
Well, there's been so much talk about us not having a quorum on the finance committee and all the help that the town needs, and I looked at all the different boards. And the only thing that I feel that I have some relevant experience in is the finance committee. So I figured I would step up and give it a shot, and I know Debbie and I know she needs help.
Absolutely.
Here I am.
I mean, yeah, you definitely have a lot of experience that I think will be relevant to the position. Have you filled in a little bit about the schedule, Debbie, and kind of what that's like and?
A little bit, yeah,
But I think
but
moving
we're gonna-
forward, we've had conversations.
right.
I think that what we're looking to do moving forward is really have a more like robust finance committee, right? And so it might look a little bit different than what we're used to in the past. But, and I did send you the new,
Yep,
the
yep.
state issue 2025 Finance Committee Handbook that we just got from the state. It is 167 pages long, but I am making my way through it, and I would like to, moving forward, really see like a more involved and robust, like I said, finance committee that follows the roadmap that the state lays out for us when towns have finance committees. So I can't speak to years prior, other than last year, but in your experience, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about like what the finance committee used to do, or like the involvement or the schedule, like you had said, or.
Well, not sure that there's a lot of difference, except, the TA was way more involved in prior than last year. Jackie had kind of stepped up to that too. Doing both, I guess, TA as well as a committee member. I think we need to be more flexible with time, especially Sarah's a working person. I'm sorry. I know. So I think we need to be more flexible.
I
And
mean,
I'm sure
there's
anybody
a lot
else
of
will
ways that
also.
we can be flexible, but we can't be flexible necessarily with the overall timeline, right? Because so we have to start
Oh.
budget season during a particular time of year, right? We can be flexible with when we have the hearings and.
That's what I'm
meetings.
talking
Oh,
about,
yeah,
yes, our
absolutely.
meetings, yes.
Yeah,
The only tricky part will be
Because-
like highway superintendent will have to be like, or you can be outside of his hours. I'm just trying to think contractually.
Yeah,
There might be
he can,
that are
no,
sticky.
yeah,
Okay.
so we can be more flexible with meetings, things of that nature. But I do just see it being more, a little bit more involved, and
Yes,
this year, Kelly our accountant, will also be taking a bigger role in the
in
budget
the
process.
budgeting.
Yeah,
Right.
Jackie, did you have anything to add?
No, I mean, Kelly, this is in the past, I think accounting had more of a role also, and Kelly did say that she would be the one that would be putting the holistic budget together. And I think what you'll see is more, for the way I read it, is to be more understanding of what's going on with the revenue side and the different components. That's all. So, I think the scheduling, again, we'll just have to figure it out,
Yeah.
how we can get everybody in.
What is our max number for finance committee? Is it 5? So we need to recruit.
So, just so you know, it's wonderful that you're volunteering, but it still wouldn't be a forum.
Right.
Okay, just so you know.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And your duty is to go out and get 3 more people.
3 more people.
Yeah.
If you know Erica, maybe give her a call.
Who's it? Erica, whatever your last name is.
Baldier.
Baldier?
Yes.
No, start with a B, yeah.
I think she's only been in town for a year or so. Yeah.
Baldier, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Doris, any question?
No, I'm all set.
There's no other questions. I'd entertain a motion to appoint Sarah to Finance Committee for a 3-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
No.
Aye.
Hi,
Congratulations.
congratulations, Sarah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Just remember, we don't fire slaves.
Okay, I was gonna tell you to tell me don't expect to get paid. That's what you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Finance Committee is
Finance committee, you guys are
adjourned.
nice.
Oh,
You
yours.
don't need to do anything about this.
Sign it.
Sign it.
WHCA.
This is yours. This is the number 5 or 7.
This isn't mine, this is what's her name?
Oh, well, that's the extra one. I think there's 2 copies there.
This is not something you had to sign?
No, we did already.
Corinne?
Corinne, no. She said it's not Corinne, it's no, it's not like I thought it was.
Yeah.
It's not like I thought,
Is it
because I thought it was
Corinne?
Corinne.
Ring.
Yes,
I was wrong.
I was right. Okay, where am I saying this? Duly authorized representative name. Sarah. Yes.
Meeting over now.
God, I hope so. Jackie, I think we're good, right?
We're
Yeah.
good? All right. I
Um,
won't see you next Monday, so
you will?
no,
Oh. Boo.
You're not gonna be here next Monday?
no,
Well, I
the
don't want.
following Monday.
Hi.
Send an email.
All right.
Have fun.
Thank you for
All
joining
right.
via Zoom.
Take care. Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:48.
No public comment, Madam?
Oh, I'm sorry. Public comment first.
Several months ago, when you
Yes.
instituted the new policy for public comment,
Yes.
you made it clear at that time that the media would be allowed to ask questions for clarification.
Mhm.
And I find it somewhat concerning that you would not respond to me during the course of the meeting.
Is
Only
that,
because I did have information pertinent to the discussion involving Eversource.
okay.
So
I'm sorry, Mary. I'm not sure if sometimes it is a press thing. If it is press, if you can just, I don't know. I just don't wanna, I just don't wanna get in the habit of of not following that rule, because then it's hard for me to not call on people because I feel terrible but I don't want to just call on some people, not the other, and the press thing slipped my mind, honestly.
But when,
So I apologize.
when I have raised my hand, it has been strictly for clarification.
Okay, I appreciate that. So going forward, then
thought.
I'll remember that. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
I know, and I know it's hard because you do have, I just want to make sure I'm following the same rules for everyone and not being,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Somebody call the meeting, please.
Yeah, 7:49.
Thank you.
Meeting closed.